So every guy goes through 7 stages of fat loss, and I want to break down each phase in detail today so that you have no guesswork, proper expectations whenever you decide that it is the right time to lose weight, burn fat, and get in the best shape of your life. These are the 7 phases that I've gone through, and thousands of clients that I've had a privilege of working with have gone through as well. And I think a lot of this stuff is just stuff that most people don't realize, and it kind of stays hidden behind the curtain, starting with the first phase, which is incredibly necessary if you want to have a successful fat loss transformation. I call that phase the sick and tired of being sick and tired phase. This is where you've realized that you know you need to make some changes. You're not entirely sure what needs to change exactly. Maybe you have an idea because maybe you know your way around the weight room a little bit, the gym a little bit, nutrition, you know some things, you know about macros. Maybe you've hired some things in the past, some guys in the past, or some apps that you've bought in the past and followed in the past, but you've started to have some scares. And typically it's in 3 areas. One would be health. Maybe you had a health scare recently, you went to the doctor and you're on some medication, and maybe you've been on some medication and you're like, you know what? I'm going to be on these meds for the rest of my life if I don't start cleaning up my habits and routines. The second area that a lot of guys have a wake-up call is the aesthetics. Sometimes this happens on vacation where you realize you've been on so many vacations now where you feel really uncomfortable taking your shirt off, and that's been the norm for as long as you can remember. Maybe your children have started to notice that your body doesn't look like the people they admire. You don't look like an athlete. You don't look like a celebrity. You look like a guy who has let himself go. Maybe your aesthetic realization has come from the social circle that you're in. You see people that you're friends with, people that you know who are really out of shape, and you realize, oh my gosh, that's how I look. Or the opposite happens where you have people who are in your peer group who have made some changes. They have changed how they look. Maybe you see a picture as you're scrolling social media that reminds you of you in your starting spot now, but then you see their after picture and you're like, whoa, that guy's in his 40s, 50s, or 60s, and he made incredible changes. Why can't I do that? And then the third thing is our energy. We start to realize we just don't have the energy that we once had, and we're kind of sick and tired of it. You know, maybe it's going to play with your kids, going to water parks and not able to climb all the stairs and do everything and feel great. Maybe after a night of a couple of drinks, you feel like just total crap the next day. And you're just thinking, man, I used to have a lot more energy than I do now. And it scares me because I feel like I have a whole lot of life left to live, but I'm not able to give my best. This is typically what I hear from guys who I talk to every single day. So the sick and tired phase is necessary because it's where we start the fire. You know, we can't assume that we're going to be able to flip a switch and be just 100% dialed in with fat loss. We have to have a moment of awakening. All right. I think of a story that a client told me one time where he was like, you know, I went on vacation. I was with my wife. We went to this amazing resort. We get to the pool. She takes off her little cover up. She looks incredible. She looks so hot and like sexy or whatever. She's in a bikini. It's like, oh my gosh, wow. How did I marry a chick like that? She looks incredible. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I have to take my shirt off? No way. Take my shirt off. I jump in the pool as fast as I can. And I swim up to the swim up bar, and I'm staying under the water because I want to hide my physique. And that was when I realized I was sick and tired of feeling like that. Okay. So that's phase number 1. Phase number 2, we have to burn the boats. We have to have tunnel vision. This is where we get into what I call locked in, focused phase. There is no plan B anymore. See, a lot of guys buy these little apps, hire little personal trainers. Maybe they jump into like a group coaching program. It's cheap. You know, it kind of gives you a way out, right? It's like, if I spend $100 on this and it doesn't go well, oh well, I'll just try something else. And you're constantly in the state of exploring. What looks cool? Ooh, that looks shiny and new. Let me try that. Ooh, that diet looks a little different. Let me try that. Let me try fasting. Let me try peptides. Let me try all this crap, because none of it is coming with commitment. So you haven't put the blinders on. You haven't gone full tunnel vision. You're not fully invested. I tell guys all the time, don't look for cheap, look for results. Look for something that is going to scare you a little bit when it comes to investing in your health and fitness. And I don't mean scare you in terms of, the program itself. I mean, if you don't get the result from investing in this, that's going to hurt. All right. You have to have skin in the game. Don't have a plan B, guys. This is a phase where, like I said, you'll know when you're in this phase, because I always tell you the restaurant story. When I'm in this phase and I go to a restaurant, there's no option other than ordering something that helps me hit my calories. There's no other option. Like, I can think right now, I'm in that phase now. Like, I'm locked in. I think about Chick-fil-A. My kids want to go to Chick-fil-A. Cool. I know exactly what I'm getting. I'm not getting the sandwich. I'm not getting the French fries. I'm doing the house market salad with grilled chicken and fat-free honey mustard with a Diet Coke. That's my locked-in meal. There's no option other than that, because I've burned the votes. Okay. I've burned all plan B options. So that's plan B gone. Okay. Phase 2, burn the boats, It's full focus mode. We're dialed in. There's no option other than to succeed. Now, I will say, by the way, if you're interested in getting my 7-day, I call it the James Bond body blueprint. I just personally think James Bond has like it all figured out, right? Great physique, especially Daniel Craig. He's inspiring. He's an older guy. Looks awesome in a suit. Looks awesome with a shirt off. Dude's just crushing it, right? Has a little drink here and there. That's what we all want, okay? If you want my 7-day roadmap, just comment the word bond on this video and I'll send it to you for free. I'll get you inside of our free group too, where we put out daily resources for guys who specifically need to lose body fat, drop some weight, and want to build a physique that they're proud of. Just comment bond on this video and I'll send it to you, okay? So what's phase 3? Well, phase 3 is now that you're actually rolling. You're in fat loss mode. You're actually making some changes. So this is where we start to see faster results. Okay, the weight starts coming down really quick because we've cleaned up our act a little bit. Okay, we're eating better, we're training more, we're doing the movement, we're sleeping a little better. We've cut out the junk, right? We're like, dude, I'm locked in. Some guys make the mistake of going so hardcore out of the gate that their results are just like unsustainable really, really fast. Typically what you'll see here in this first, like, let's call it 3 to 6 weeks, you're dropping 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 pounds in a week. And you're like, whoa, dude, whoa. What was I waiting? I'm so glad I did this. Like, this is crazy. This is going to be so easy. You know, the 40 pounds I need to lose, man, it's going to be gone like a month. Nope. It's not what happens. The body is dropping water weight. It's dropping fat. It's dropping some inflammation. It's cleaning up the truly useless weight that you truly don't need. Okay. Your body's like, thank you for finally doing what needs to be done. Now we can get rid of all this excess water and fat that was just waiting to be burned off. Okay. But your body loves homeostasis. Your body likes to survive. It is truly a survival machine. Okay. So when it starts to drop a lot of weight really quick, it's going to slow things down to make sure that you survive. That's just how the body's wired. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great science, but it can cause phase 4, which is what I call the fade. The fade is a problem for a lot of guys. This is where most guys have either thoughts of quitting, or they start to slip up a lot, or they completely quit. Why is this? Well, because when you hit the fade, oftentimes you've dropped some significant weight. For guys in my program, typically this is like 15 to 20 pounds down. They've noticed their bodies starting to change a little bit, but they thought it would be a lot bigger change when they've dropped some of the significant weight, okay? So take a progress picture. This is that. And what happens? Oh, sad face because you're not ripped yet. Why? Well, because it hasn't been enough time. The fade is also where you'll start to forget that you're in a fat loss phase. You start to slip up too much, right? You start to get a little sloppy. You weren't as tight as you were in the OMG phase. So you've lost this weight, right? It's come down, but now it starts to resemble a heartbeat a little bit, a little up, little down, little up, little down. Because when you zoom out though, what's really happening is you are coming down. It's just slower. And really what's going on is things got boring. It's no longer shiny and new. The workouts, it's like, I did this workout before. It's not new anymore. Oh, my diet starts to feel normal and like kind of boring. And like the eggs and the toast that I've been eating and the chicken and the rice and the steak and the potatoes, like what happened to like the new and cool stuff that I was experiencing early on? Well, you're now in the fade. And this is really, really important for you to push through this phase. It's so important, okay? You have to accept that the boring is going to lead to the results. The boring stuff leads to the results, okay? Guys who play pro sports after a game on Sunday, the fun game that they just played, what do? They come in on Monday, they get treatment. They come in on Tuesday, they watch film. Wednesday, they go back to practice. They work on the plays. Thursday, they watch more film and they work on more plays. And before you know it, it's a routine. It's the same stuff every week, but that's what leads to championships. And that's what's going to lead to your physique looking the way you want. So now phase 5, man, I hear it from guys all the time. This is a big time phase that frustrates a lot of dudes. I call it the skinny fat phase. Now, we try our best to avoid this phase at all costs, but it definitely sometimes creeps into a fat loss program where you've lost weight. We're going to say you've lost fat, okay? But you thought you were carrying more muscle than you actually are. You didn't realize that a lot of the size that you were carrying, right? The arm size, the chest size, the stomach size, like that. The stomach size is not good, by the way. But you've lost some body fat and now you start to feel a little skinny. Here's the biggest issue. When you take progress pictures, your abs aren't fully in. And so you're like, I feel like a skinnier version of my former fat self. We try to avoid this at all costs. We do this with some really important protocols. Number one being, we don't do crazy crash diets, okay? Number two, we train the right way. We want to build muscle, and we might even sneak in some temporary diet breaks where we're refueling your body. We're putting glycogen back in the muscle. We're getting some strength back. We're not allowing you to lose muscle. We're not allowing you to lose muscle as you go through this phase. Okay. Now, how long can the skinny fat phase last? Well, hopefully not too long. The previous two phases. Okay. So how long does the skinny fat phase last? Well, hopefully not too long. Okay. This is one that we want to get through. If we even go through it all, we want to get through it quick. And we have to just mentally lock in. And sometimes I even tell guys, look, stay off the scale, maybe take a progress picture here and there, but let's just get through this. Okay. You're so close to breaking through to the other side that this is, once again, kind of like the fade. The fade sometimes leads to this phase, right? Where you're like, okay, I pushed through it. I accepted it's going to be a little more boring. I'm not going to be losing 10 pounds a week. Totally get it. And then all of a sudden you wake up one day and you're like, oh man, I'm feeling kind of smaller. Yeah, because you've lost a significant amount of fat that you thought was muscle. And now you have to get to the point where you are truly lean, like sub 15% body fat. And sometimes you're going to feel skinny. Okay, because you got so used to being this overly fat guy who you thought was muscular when really it was just a lot of body fat. Okay. Phase number 6 is the wow, it worked phase. Okay. Wow, it worked. I'll never forget, guys, when I first took, wow, that was terrible. When I first took a progress picture with abs, I was like, holy crap, it worked. Holy crap. I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to keep doing what my coach tells me to do. And I'm going to get there. This is my early 20s. I saw my abs for the first time in my life in my early 20s. Never had been a ripped kid. Never had abs, ever. Never, ever, ever. Maybe when I was like a toddler, but I don't remember that. So I got there. I got the 6-pack. I took a picture. I was like, whoa, I don't feel skinny anymore. I feel ripped. This is awesome. I can see all the definition. This is crazy. Like, I'm so happy. Okay. A crucial moment here, though, that you have to be careful with this phase. Phase 6 can also be dangerous. We have to understand that the journey's not over. It's just beginning. Okay. You reached a peak on a mountain, but there's a lot of other journeys ahead of you. One of the most dangerous spots to be in is getting ripped for the first time, especially if you didn't do it the right way. Of course, if you're in our program, which by the way, you can learn all about in the descriptions below, you can figure out exactly how to do this the right way. But a lot of guys do this the wrong way, and they're so eager to go back to eating so much food that this is where the body's very susceptible to adding a ton of fat. Your metabolism has slowed down if you've gotten really ripped. Okay. Your metabolism has come down, and now you're going to need to move into phase 7. Phase 7 of fat loss is metabolic repair. You've worked so hard to get lean. You've done all the right things. And now you're at like this spot where you're like, ooh, what's next? Well, metabolic repair. We got to start adding calories back, bringing activity back to a maintainable level. Keep training, keep working out, keep doing your thing. But we got to get the body back to a place where it is comfortable and safe. All right. And so we do this through metabolic repair, slowly adding calories back, taking away some of the activity so we're not walking tons and tons and tons all day, and getting back to a place where you can maintain a healthy weight, a level of leanness that you like, and a level of performance and energy that allows you to do what you need to do in your life. So many guys skip this phase. It's crazy. And that's why you see rapid weight gain back to where they started really, really fast. You see like these crazy before and afters, and the next thing you know, these guys are overweight again. What we need to do here is give ourselves 8 to 12 weeks to find our maintenance weight. Okay. And then we can set some protective measures around that weight. Like, hey, I never want to be too heavier, or I never want to be heavier than this amount. I never want to be lighter than this amount for now, unless I decide to do a cut. And just find that place where you're strong, you're fit. And a really good transition from here is to go do a performance goal, all right? Go do something that requires more training, more calories to support the training, so you can actually use your body, the strength, the leanness, all that stuff that you've now acquired. You can go do something with your physique. Okay. That's what I would do next. Speaking of what I would do next, there's a lot of cardio protocols that I like to recommend for guys, some of which helps you maintain your newfound leanness. I put together a video on my 7 favorite versions of cardiovascular work that I suggest you do all the time. Go check that video out next, and I'll see you over there.